This is a Mortarbox Media podcast. For more podcasts and to learn how we can help you create your own, visit mortarboxmedia.com.
Hello and welcome to Women AF Podcast, a podcast hosted by three friends who are kind of overwhelmed and feeling a little bit fatigued with, life. Today I'm joined by Carrie.
Hello.
And Nicole.
Hi.
I had a couple different sentences happening in my head just then, and I had to real fast decide where I was going with that intro.
I thought that was great.
Yeah, you did it. Great job.
Yeah.
We're in it. We're here.
We're here. So how's everyone's week going?
So average.
Right?
Like always.
So much the same as every week before.
Yeah, pretty much. The only interesting difference was that I met up with some friends on Sunday and we hiked, and these were friends that I hadn't seen in a while, and you know how good that feels, and you can just pick up where you left off. And so I'm giving a shout out to these friends. You guys know who you are. One of you is probably listening, but that's about it. But thanks for the quality time. It was beautiful.
That is nice.
Yeah.
Do you remember when hanging out with people just was part of a regular
normal
week?
thing? Yeah.
Yeah. And now I'm like, oh my God, I saw people.
That's really funny because I feel like my story of the week is completely opposite of yours. Instead of actually seeing people, I think I went more into my shell. And so I read a lot of books, right?
Okay.
And I accidentally did this thing where I got really excited for books, and I went on my library site, and I'm like, this is a good book. Let's, put this on hold, put this on hold, put this on hold. And then they all showed up at the same time. So
that happens to me too.
Yeah. So I had to read 7 books in a week and a half. So
What
You didn't
book?
have to. You wanted to.
I basically made it a competition of myself.
Oh,
And
okay.
I was like, I'm doing this. I can't renew on the electronic version of the library. So
Okay. Why not? I don't understand.
It's just not a feature.
Yeah, it makes you return it, and then you have to put it on hold again and wait to get it again.
Yes.
Oh, that's stupid.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it. So
So-
these
and
weren't
you
actual physical books.
They 3 of them were.
Okay.
So I had about 4 that were ebooks, and then 3 that were I had to pick up from my library.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And did you have a favorite? Did you have a least favorite? Tell us.
Yeah,
Tell us which
what did
one
you
we
read?
should read next. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm excited.
Let's get into it.
So I recently, I go on TikTok, and
You do?
Crazy, right? I know. I send
Weird.
you all kinds of TikToks all the time. And there's this area of TikTok where you can go and it's book talk. So I've stumbled upon this book talk, and they recommend all these books.
I know Book Talk.
Yes. So I went through, and when somebody recommended something to me, I'm like, yes, library, get it. And I've been doing all this stuff. So it's just been a lot of I read Invisible Life of Addie LaRue recently.
How is it?
A lot better than what I thought. I've been
Good.
striking out lately of kind of crappier recommendations, but that one I think was one of the best. I like that one a lot.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'll write that down.
Do it.
Yeah. So I'm listening to an audiobook right now called How Not to Diet. So it's I'm all over the
Ooh.
place with my books, but it's a nutritional book, whatever.
Yeah.
I do a lot of audiobooks. Sometimes I like to read, but I will get through a book faster if it's audio because, I can do it while I do other things like run or cook. And I have learned it is hard to run and read a physical book at the same time. Don't recommend it. But anyway, this guy's voice is really tough to get.
Oh.
Like, I really want to like stop, but I already have the book. So I'm like, I would have to put the physical book on hold, and I'd have to wait for it to come in, and then I'd have to figure out where in the book I'm at. So I like kind of just want to power through it. But like this, he's the author. He shouldn't.
I was going to say it must be the author.
Oof.
And he does it in like, he's a doctor, and he like overly talks about like, he is like, I'm so excited about these facts and we've got to test it. And I don't know. It's just like, he's trying too hard, and I just want him to stop trying.
Well, that would ruin it for me, I think.
Yeah. Have you guys ever wanted to read books yourself and record it just so that you could have an audiobook of that book and listen to it later?
No, never.
Me.
That sounds really stressful to me, to be honest.
Weird and a lot of work.
Well, sometimes you read a book and you're like, this is so good. I want to like put it in my repertoire so I can listen to it later.
No, you just read
if
it
I
again.
do that, if I really want to read it again, I just like, buy it or check it out a second time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's different when you listen to an audiobook.
Well, then just rent the audiobook of it later.
Yeah, or Audible.
I don't understand you, Nicole.
I'm getting that. All right.
Or maybe what you're really saying is you want a job being a voiceover or a voice person, an audio.
I think that would work for you.
For how
you
well
could do that.
I, am good at grammar and pronouncing names, I feel like this would be very bad.
You might have to take a lot of extra takes, but your voice would sound good.
I feel like if you're reading a book, like the author tells you how to pronounce the names, right? Because I'm sure the first person who recorded the Harry Potter series did not say Hermione.
Right.
I did in my head. And like most people did, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So true.
All right. Yeah, I could see that.
Otherwise, it's a lot of retakes.
A lot.
It's true.
So I have a story. This is
tell us.
Not such a wild story, and it did not directly happen to me, but I feel like as parents you'll find it kind of funny. So last night I was tired, very fitting for the topic of today, and I went to bed early, and Nova decided she wanted to lay down with me. Not totally fine, right? No big deal. So we fall asleep. Daniel's editing photos. He comes upstairs, and then he's like, oh, okay, I guess everyone's sleeping in the big bed. So instead of like disturbing everybody, because I mean, even the dog was there. I mean, we were all just like crashing on the big bed, right? He's like, I'm just gonna go sleep in Nova's bed. So he goes he lays down, he's adjusting the pillow, and he feels something wet under the pillow. And we're in the process of like nighttime potty training. So he's like, did she pee and then put her pillow on it? Which is not like such a crazy thought. But he's like, let me see how wet it is. So he puts his hand under further. And then he feels something squishy. And he's like, oh, that's not the thing I expected to feel. So he picks up the pillow, and apparently Nova decided she might be hungry later because she hid a banana underneath her pillow.
Oh, what?
Probably like last week, based on the looks of this banana.
Oh, so bad.
What was wet though? A banana isn't
because
wet.
After a banana has been sitting and gets squishy for a long time and has
been slept on.
Yeah, it like seeps. It seeps out of the banana.
That's so gross. It like, does that leave a stain that can come out? Like, what's left behind there?
Right.
Thankfully, I mean, we have a mattress protector. Thankfully.
Oh, good.
But
good
there
call.
was like a little brown circle stain on the mattress protector.
So
it had,
gross.
Like, seeped. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in the middle of the night, Daniel's trying to go to bed, but now he's got to strip the bed, throw everything in the wash, the way you would if she had wet the bed. But,
Yep.
He doesn't feel like remaking the bed because he's tired. So he just grabbed a blanket and slept on the floor.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah. Which kind of makes me think about our topic, right? So, excuse me. So he got everything in the wash, right? And then, but during the day, I'm the one that's working from home. I'm the only person that's home, right?
Yeah.
So during the day, what ends up happening, which I'm sure a lot of people who work from home get this, like the bulk of like the daily house stuff ends up falling on me. And not because it's like Daniel isn't doing stuff, but it's just because he's physically not there. So then in addition to that, I'm also trying to like work.
Yeah.
And like, just it's like a different level of being tired because it's like it feels like there should be less now, like that there's no commute, I don't have to physically get ready to go somewhere. But now it's like a different type of exhaustion, and that's what we're going to talk about today after the break.
Are you the type of person who loves quizzes? Do you love wine? Do you love wine delivered to your door? If that's you, then Wink is exactly what you're looking for. Start by taking a flavor profile quiz and have Wink choose 4 delicious wines based on flavors you like the most. The more you drink and rate the wines, the better the recommendations Wink has for you. And right now, you can get $20 off your first order. You're gonna buy wine anyway. Might as well save some money and get it delivered. To get $20 off your first order, visit Women AF Podcast and click Sponsors. We all need wine, so get it from Wink and save $20. WomenAFpodcast.com and click Sponsors.
So kind of as I mentioned, and I think that you both also work from home, and I want to be clear, like, I feel like the bulk of the extra stuff happening is not necessarily the fault of like Daniel for not doing stuff, because I feel like he comes home and he does a lot of stuff. But then it's like trying to keep up with the stuff of just like being home. Like I find myself in between Zoom calls, which are, of course, now that you don't have to go anywhere, back to back to back to back. And then I'm like, I need to stand up because my legs are numb and my face hurts from smiling.
You don't have to smile.
I feel like I do when I'm on camera because like people are looking at my face in a different way than like,
And they're seeing it 2D. So you have to be like smiling on all angles. You can't be like, hey, and look on the side or anything like that. It's like always.
I don't think I smile too much in meetings. Am I giving off a bad vibe? I think I'm just sitting there, neutral. Can I not just sit there neutral?
I mean, I think you can. I feel like I just need to smile.
All right. Maybe just don't for a little bit and see how it goes.
Okay.
I mean, but also, I don't know. Do you guys just sometimes keep on staring at yourself? Like you're staring at everybody else and then randomly your eye goes up to like, what am I doing? All the time?
I mean, most of the time I'm looking at myself to make sure I'm not doing something crazy with my face.
Right? I know. And it's there. And like, it's hard to not look. So they're not looking at you, Carrie. They're looking at their own self. It's fine.
Yeah. I feel like if my face goes unchecked, it does weird things. Like, I don't know. People say like, why are you making that face? And I'm like, what face am I making? I don't know.
I say make whatever face you want. Give your cheeks a rest. Stop smiling.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Or like getting assaulted by my dog. I don't know if that happens a lot.
Like on camera or just in general?
Yeah. Yeah. So like the couch is right behind me. So like half the time she'll jump up on the couch like behind me and like paw at my back or start barking at me incessantly because she wants my attention. She doesn't like video. Like it makes her mad.
Oh, interesting.
If I'm talking to somebody and it's not her and there's nobody else that's physically there, she just gets real mad about it. So she lets me know. Or what's even worse is like if I'm on camera and then she starts like biting my hands or my legs, or like she's down here barking at me. And then I'm like sitting here on camera like this. And my friend's like, what is even happening over there?
Can I just hold on? Can we just take the view of, because she, right? River's a she.
Yeah.
She's a herder dog, right?
Yes.
Okay, so in her mind, you have gone crazy. And you
Probably,
are on the same spot talking to a box. That sounds like it's not even talking back. So I bet she's trying to save your life right now.
Oh, that's so sweet.
She probably is. She's like, listen,
Yeah.
I don't know who to call for help, but I need to call somebody.
Right?
Sitting in this corner talking to the box all day isn't helping you.
Yes.
We should go play outside. That's the thing that makes me feel better.
That's healthy. That's normal. Come on.
Yeah. That's probably exactly what's happening, actually. And then when I don't respond, she just like lays down and falls asleep, which makes me jealous because that's kind of what I want to do. Also.
Yep. Truth.
So what is, I mean, I feel like, obviously we just finished our 1 year in series, right? We've made it abundantly clear that we're in like a whole different world now than we were where we thought we were going to be 13 months ago, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So like we've addressed just like general fatigue, parenting fatigue, even like just pandemic fatigue, but like talking from a year in, like how does this overwhelm feel now? How does this like new normal feel, especially related to work?
I think you've said the word tired several times. I think that really encapsulates it. It's not as much of a like stress, like busy stress, like a frantic stress. It's a tired stress feeling. It's just been a long time of doing multiple things kind of on top of each other. Those work lines and those home lines are blurry as heck, right? It's just like you said, you're doing all the work at home, all the housework stuff and all the work stuff, and it's all just sort of on top of everything, and it's exhausting mentally and physically.
Yeah. I think I mentioned this before, but so I'm in the minority in that I'm excited to go back to an office setting, at least some part of the day.
I'm with you. Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to be every day, but that physical boundary of walking out of your house, closing the door, walking inside an office where you don't have laundry everywhere, you don't have dishes that it's going to be in your background of your picture. And then the reverse too, where you can physically walk out of work, close that door, pack up your bag, and separate yourself. And I feel like that's what we're missing here, working from home full time, is so when I would get off of work, I had a 45-minute commute. It was my relaxing time. I would listen to podcasts, listen to books. I would also like call people, like call my mom, call my grandma, just like talk to them. And that was the only time I really could, because otherwise you're hanging with the kids. You're just busy. And now I literally wake up, get the kids ready, get them to daycare, walk to my room, this room that I'm in, and work. Don't really take a lunch. And then when I'm done at 5 o'clock. I close my computer and then I go get the kids. Like there's no break. There's no boundary between work and home. It just feels like a run-on sentence. Like it just keeps going and going and going. I can't stop it.
Yeah.
Look at that grammar. Did you hear that, Karen?
Yeah, I loved that. Run-on sentence. Boom.
And it was a right grammar word.
You are speaking my language.
Yes.
Okay, but I want to go back to what you said about not taking a lunch. Why don't you take a lunch?
I used to, and I want to again, but it feels really hard to take a lunch because your computer's right there. And I feel like, number one, people just book over lunches because they just assume you're there somewhere. And it's just really hard for me to walk away from my computer, and if someone pings me and I hear the noise, I'm somewhere in the vicinity, I want to go and talk to them. I want to go and make sure that I'm present. And that's hard to do, and like separate yourself and take a lunch.
Do you feel like the expectation of your availability is higher, even outside of normal hours?
Yes. Because like think about it, when you're at an office, like I could go get coffee down the hall and talk to one of my coworkers, maybe about work, maybe just not about work. And if someone pops by your desk and you're not there, that's okay. But if you're at home, if you're not at your desk, what are bosses, what are employers gonna think of you? Because you don't have down the street to talk to your coworker. Like, I don't know. I think that's part of the just pressure that I think I put on myself. I don't think it's actually pressure from my company, but it feels hard. Like those social norms. What do you guys do? Do you guys take a lunch?
I at least try to take a walk at some point over the noon hour, not like a long walk. 'Cause like you, like my company's totally cool with like the noon hour is like your time, like take a lunch, like take a break. And like someone like video called me at 12:50, like it rang one time and then it suddenly like stopped, and I called her back. I'm like, did you call me? She's like, I just noticed it was like 12:50. I'm sorry. And I was like, oh, it's fine. So like, I know that I can kind of take that time, but like you, I feel uncomfortable if I'm out walking too long. It's like 20 minutes tops. And then I'm like, oh, I got to check my messages and stuff. But I do take that time, and I need that walk. I need to get up. I need to be physical for a little bit, because I think physically it's really hard to just stick yourself in a room all day. Like I'm finding that really difficult. I don't have the good chair like I do at work. My back is killing me like that, Yeah. So it's like a mental and a physical thing. So I take something. I take 20 minutes, and that's about it.
Do you block it on your calendar, or is it just kind of known throughout your company that noon?
It's known. Yeah, it's good.
That.
Does your company not do that, or do they like say they do that and don't really, or
no?
Is it not really talked about?
It's not really talked about. I never really even thought that would be a nice cultural norm. Which it would be a really nice thing to do. But sometimes like at my other job, I would block off the noon hour so that no one could schedule over me. But I always made it like a private event, so no one could see like I'm going to work out or anything like that.
Right, yeah.
So,
it's tough when there's not like a norm. It's tough
right?
to feel comfortable with just taking a few minutes to yourself. But you should.
And at least having that conversation too, I think is a good thing. Because like right now, I didn't even know that would be a thing to even start talking about with your group or with your, department.
Yeah, maybe everyone else is taking an hour lunch every day and you're not. And you should.
Yeah, right?
Or at least ask about it.
Yeah.
I suppose, is there anyone you feel comfortable to even ask about it?
Not really.
Yeah, that's...
Like, I onboarded during the pandemic, so I really don't know what's typical for this company yet.
That's another factor. You don't really even know the culture.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I well, as we mentioned, I have a blue healer, and one of the reasons we got her is because blue healers are very high energy. So great with kids, great to have a running partner, like all of those sort of things. But I have to take her on 2 walks a day. And then Daniel also takes her on like 1 or 2 walks a day. And then also 3 days a week, she goes on a run with me. So like we're talking that level of energy. So,
she's young too, right?
She's only 7 months. So she's like extra energy. So we do 2 15-minute walks mid-morning, mid-afternoon. I put those on my calendar, and I put them on the calendar the day of. So I assume people aren't going to be like, if it's 9 in the morning and I'm like, I'm going to take her at 9:30. I assume like nobody's going to book a last minute meeting like that. So I'll just look at my calendar and be like, this is a good time. And this is a good time. based on the meetings I have. And then lunch, 3 days a week I go for a run at lunch. Well, I mean, I'm including weekends in that. So during the weekday, I usually have at least 1, maybe 2 days I go for a run at lunch, but it's usually between like 30 and 45 minutes. So it's not quite the full hour. And I'll probably put that on my calendar. And then the other days we have so we used to have like a workout center at work. So they still do workout classes, but via Zoom. So those actually show up on my calendar like a meeting.
That's cool.
Because
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So those are like the other days. And then I'm in a Spanish club 1 day a week at lunch, and that also shows up like a meeting. So like my lunches are always booked, but like with fun things. But
they're company related. They're company created things. So you feel comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that, I mean, I've been on this team now for a while, so I'm pretty familiar with the company and the culture in general, and at least in our team. And it's not the same with every team in our company, but with our team, we're very, it's less about like butts and seats and more about like, what are people turning in, right? Like if I'm showing up to my meetings and I'm turning in my work, like I don't get the vibe that people are super concerned with what I'm doing throughout the day, because clearly I'm doing something because I'm turning things in, you know what I mean? But I know that that's very different to how other teams work in the company. And for them, it's very much, I need to know that you are here from 8 to 5 or 7 to 3, whatever the hours are, right? I need to know that you are physically sitting down doing your thing from these times,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's stressful.
Yeah. For me, what's hard is the lack of break in between meetings now. Like at least before there was like this understanding I had to physically walk from one place to another. But now I will get a block of 4 hours of constant meetings with no break.
That would make me insane.
And I still need to do things like go to the bathroom and eat food and take my dog. You know what I mean? Like I still have to physically do things. So like to sit for 4 hours straight is like, oh man, it's killer. I mean, I've had days where I've had legitimately 9 or 10 meetings over the course of a day. That's not unusual for me to have that many meetings in a day.
It's too much. I'm glad I don't have a lot of meetings.
Me too.
God.
But going back then to like our culture is like we got to turn in our work, and obviously I have to turn in my work. Well, if I have 10 meetings in a day, I still have work to turn in. So what does that mean? I have to work outside of like regular hours, and like again, it's kind of just this expectation of like you still got to do the stuff.
Was it like that when you were in the office? Was there like a full day of meetings basically like that, and then you'd have to work at home, or not as much?
We would have them sometimes, but I think it wasn't as much just because like you had to budget for time for people to get there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's an interesting situation. At my last job before this one, we had unlimited discretionary time off, which all that meant was Adam's making a face like it's a good thing. Let me tell you why it's sometimes not.
Well, sometimes not, because people are fucking awful and they just abuse.
Actually, it's funny because it's not for a different reason than I would have expected. So unlimited discretionary time off means we don't have a certain amount of days we take off. Like I don't have 15 vacation days or however many vacation days. It's if you have approval for the time off, you take it. There's no like counting of those times. What we discovered was that if you do not give people a number, they take significantly less time off than if they have a specific number.
Weird.
Yes, the irony here also, I'm just going to throw this in, and this is totally intentionally a dig at my last company. But so we had unlimited discretionary time off. Guess how much time I got for maternity leave?
Oh no. How many?
I don't know.
1 week.
Oh,
1 week of paid.
That's a joke. Like they
Followed
shouldn't
up-
even say that. That's
Right.
embarrassing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Followed up
God.
by a person who got 3 weeks paid vacation.
Oh, stop.
And I was like, can I just take this as vacation? And they were like, no. So anyway,
wow.
there's multiple ways that like this unlimited time off can kind of screw you. But like one of the ways is that people feel like, well, if I take off, but Nicole's not taking off, then they're going to think Nicole works harder than I do. So I'm not going to take off either.
Yeah.
And I think something like that. Oh, yes, Adam.
Just so you know, whenever I raise my hand, you don't have to stop. This is just me going, hey, I want to say something, but I don't want to interrupt. So you can.
Oh, okay.
Going.
So we should not call on you like this is a class.
What did you just say? Because now I was just thinking by that.
Oh, I just said like people compare. So like if I'm like Nicole's not taking any time off. Yeah.
Honestly, the way that I think about it, I would think that would never cross my mind to say, well, Nicole's taken off, so I'm not going to take off, so I look better. What I would think is, okay, my boss takes off when he needs to, or she needs to, or when they need to. They know that I am going to take off. I have the time to take off. I'm going to take off.
What if your boss doesn't take off?
I would then that's one of the 6 factors that I named that doesn't exist. I still have 5 reasons of why I'm going to take off. Like, to me, it would seem I would be more concerned about what my boss thought of me if I didn't take off. Because that's a weird employee to me.
How about the person that you get to your emails on Monday morning, you look at your emails and you see that, Jerry is messaging us on a Saturday morning. You're like, what the heck, Jerry? You're making us all
Fucking
look
Jerry.
bad. He is. Because he's out there working weekends, being super busy and, getting a lot done. And I just took the whole weekend off.
Yeah, I would assume that there's more pressure from other employees to be like, hey, take off so that we don't all look like jackasses. I feel like the minority are the people that are going to be like, you know what? I don't need to take off because I'm a fucking robot, I guess.
Well, I think
So
it's also...
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I think it's also the Jerry character. I think he feels like he's doing a great job. He feels like he's doing the extra because he is working on Saturdays.
Yeah.
When that's fine, but there's no amount of mutiny that the other employees can do to convince Jerry that, hey, you're making us all look bad, when Jerry's just thinking, I'm looking good.
Right.
It also, I think, really depends on work culture, right? Because there's a lot of work culture that rewards excessive overwork. And like rewards in the sense of raises and bonuses and promotions, like actual, like tangible rewards, not just like accolades, which obviously accolades are important too, but like they give those people more money, So then that's a lot of motivation to like, oh, well, I want to make more money. So I guess I gotta, it's like how they say, if you want a promotion, you have to do the job of the next level, right? But that can be problematic because a lot of times they'll say, well, you're already doing the work at this price, so why would I pay you more to do the thing you're already doing?
Right.
Which, of course, is entirely dependent on the company. Do you all feel like you have pressure to just be more available, to show up more, to take less time away?
I don't think so. I think company culture wise, I think everyone's cool with taking time off whenever you need it. They're generous with that. I think the only thing that would be holding me back is myself. like we talked about already, just like, is it okay to take off? Like, and that's just me. That's always been me. Like, I want to be available if you guys need me. Like, I want to be helpful. So, I don't know. My boss is always like, yeah, we can get backup. It's fine. And I'm like, are you sure? It's that kind of situation. So that's my issue.
Do you think that because, like, I mean, obviously, when you're working and your kids are home, your output is not going to be as high when your kids are not home. Like, that's just across the board for everybody, right?
Right.
Do you, and this is, so for me, for the times that my kids have been home, especially like when they're, have been home for like longer periods of time, like multiple days or weeks or whatever, I always feel like I've got to show, like, oh yeah, my kids were home, but look, I still did just as much work. I still showed up at just as many meetings. Like, do you feel that pressure? Because like I do, and I feel like I go a little bit nuts on those weeks.
For me, that's a situation where I would completely communicate to everyone. I sent emails. I was like, listen, this is when I have kids at home. This is when they're doing virtual school. I might not be available. Like, I needed them to know, because I couldn't do it. Like, it was too much when my kids were virtual schooling. So I just communicated that to them. Everyone was cool about that. And then I also have to let them know, like, when I have to go every day and pick my kids up from school now that they're in person in school. So I can't try. I can't try to, like, be as available. It's just not possible. And so I just got to be honest and like, I don't know.
But I think that's good because you're putting up boundaries and people know and understand.
They do understand.
Yes.
Thank goodness.
Right. Yeah, and they know when to talk to you, and they understand that if they do send something to you at virtual school time, then they know you're going to be an hour until you do it, and that's fine.
Right.
But
yeah.
I feel like there's those awkward days when so my kids are at daycare. So I generally don't have this issue, but there were a couple times when we thought we were exposed to COVID, so we had to like quarantine. And it wasn't set up like that. Like, we didn't really have boundaries. I didn't really tell them. I just said, hey, I'm going to be like a little bit more out of pocket kind of thing because I physically am trying to take care of a 2-year-old not eating everything. So here we go. So anyway, boundaries are helpful, I think.
Yeah.
That's probably a healthier way to handle it than me.
I know, I don't do it.
I get
funny.
that because I was always worried about it.
Yeah.
But I just had no choice because I didn't, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and here's the thing. I feel like I definitely do this to myself. Kind of what you were saying, Carrie, is like, my bosses were like, hey, it's cool. We get it. Like, just let us know. Let us know if we need to pick up any meetings for you, whatever. But I was like, okay, so here's the other thing. Both of my bosses are men. Okay. And so I also, and not that they make me feel this way, but I do feel this pressure that like the woman on the team is not going to show up to a meeting because my kids are home. No, I don't think that's what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. My kids are going to be losing their mind in the background, and I'm going to be looking calm on camera, despite the fact that nobody can hear me because, as we heard a couple episodes ago, they like to scream really loud because like, I feel like I've worked really hard to get a seat at the table. Right. And I don't feel like I want to let that go or to lose the impression that I've worked so hard to get. Because like, I'm a mom, and not that being a mom is bad, but like, it is playing really hard right now because everyone's seeing me be a mom on camera while I'm also trying to sound smart and like I know what I'm talking about, but I also can't think because they're screaming and they won't eat and they probably threw something and the dog is like howling. You know what I mean?
Yes. And that's the issue. That's the work from home issue. That's the lines are blurred. The roles are all on top of each other. I get it. But I think what we're saying a lot here is that we're putting the pressure on ourselves. Like we keep saying this.
Yep.
Yeah.
We need to not do that. How do we not do that? You know, how can you say, like, I'm working, but I'm a mom and I have to deal with both? Like, and screw anyone who has a problem with it, you know, like.
Yeah.
And flipping it like that, I think is cool because it's like you're empowering yourself because you're a mom and you're doing this kick-ass career. So suck on that. I think that's what you gotta say.
Got it.
Suck on that.
Suck on that.
Well, okay,
But that's true. Like,
yeah.
you can deal with both. You might be a hot mess in your meeting, but like you're dealing with both.
Right.
Well, and I guess, I mean, to be fair, it's not like there aren't guys on my team also going through this, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I get that. And so, like, part of this is what I'm putting on myself, right?
Right.
Again, because nobody's telling me, hey, you're a woman and a mom, and we think less of you because of that. If anything, they're like, hey, you're working really hard and we support you. You know what I mean? But it's like, I've got a lot of, like, you know, patriarchy stuff happening in my head. And I'm
Sure.
like, no. Down with the patriarchy. I will dominate everything and have my panic attack later, because I probably did finish that night like screaming. Like, actually, literally one night my mom came over to help and everyone was just being too loud for too long, and I just started crying, and Nova was like, "Mommy isn't doing well." And I was like, "Mommy just needs some quiet. Everybody leave me alone." And then I just cried. And then
I've had
sat down.
so many of those moments over the past year, honestly. Like, where I'm just like, I can't take anymore.
Yeah. Oh,
And-
okay, so what do we do? Carrie, tell us in all your wisdom.
I think we take time off, right? Like, I actually have the next 2 days off. I know.
Look at
And
you.
I could not be more excited. I have zero plans. It doesn't matter. I am beat down. I have never just like I've never felt like I need to take time off because I'm just exhausted. I just feel exhausted, physically and mentally done. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to take some time. And I did it. And I'm going to, I mean, you know, I'll find something to do. Like, the kids are on spring break, so we're going to go explore and do some things. But like, I'm just going to take it easy. I finally am like, okay, I need a couple days. So
Nice.
yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Hey, going to a sauna might be a way to relax.
Oh, yes, it might.
You know, I every now and then will just randomly take a couple of days off, and just treat myself. And recently, you know, I've always done what you're doing, Carrie, the end of the week to have a 4-day weekend. But recently, I started taking days off in the middle of the week, and it is delightful.
Interesting.
It's just like a 2-day break in the middle of the week, and you're like, all right. So just one more day of work this week, and then I got a weekend.
Okay.
Honestly, even just Wednesday off is like huge. It's awesome.
You come back Thursday like pretty refreshed?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I like that idea.
As long as when you take Wednesday off, you're taking it off knowing this is not to like go run a race. It's like, I'm going to go to the spa. I'm going to relax. This is a day to rejuvenate myself.
Love it. All right. Cool.
Speaking of spa
Yeah.
and sauna, we booked ourselves a trip to the sauna from Resolution Health.
Oh,
As
yeah.
you'll remember from our speaker a couple episodes, our guest a couple episodes ago, Andrea Kuproth.
I'm so pumped.
I am so excited. We
It's
did
just
have a
coming
long
at a good time.
conversation about how long we should be in the sauna because we didn't know how long we
Have
can
it-
handle it.
Has anybody gone to a sauna before? Like, okay.
I mean,
Adam
I've
has.
been in a sauna. I don't know.
Right. Well, yeah.
This is an infrared sauna. It's not like stone, like with the water on the stone, steamy situation. So I don't know how this is going to be, but
I guess.
Right.
Oh, what do you? I guess define been to a sauna, because like Carrie, I have been in a sauna. But do you mean something different by been to a sauna?
No, I guess maybe I used the wrong word. In. Okay. But we had this discussion of like they have lots of options, an hour long or down to 20 minutes. And I don't know if I can physically be hot because I've been into like a non-infrared. Okay, yeah, that sounded weird. But I've been to like
I'm not laughing at what you think I'm laughing at. I'm laughing because I relate to that so much. I fucking hate saunas because I hate to be hot.
you hate saunas and massages. You're weird.
But like, yeah, so can you stay that
Hot for that long?
long? Because I sometimes
Yeah.
take a really long shower and I feel like
Yeah.
it's too much sometimes.
Yeah. Well, and we're all gonna be in the sauna together.
Yeah. Yes.
So we might like have a moment of like, I don't know how big it is.
No, I have no idea what to
Yeah.
expect.
It's like getting in the back of a little car. We're all just like in there, like, hey.
I will say that the infrared saunas are more tolerable than the stone saunas.
That's what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
I always found like stone saunas really difficult to breathe in. That's actually why I
Yeah.
for the most part.
Right.
Yeah, steamy.
Right. The
Yeah.
infrared ones that I've been in, it's like, oh, like if I just bring in like a damp towel and put it around my neck, like I feel pretty good. Like I could be 30 minutes.
So this is like Wisconsin summer humid. That's like the normal stones, but then the infrared is like Washington, the dry summer where it's just hot in the sun but fine.
Yeah.
Right? Is that what I'm getting?
Yeah, I would definitely say that the stone sauna is like it's super humid, and I have never left a stone sauna like feeling healthy. I have always left a stone sauna going, I damaged something.
Yeah.
With infrared, it's much more like a dry desert heat where it's just like, oh man, you know what? I was out in the sun all day today and sweating, and I feel great. Like you feel really good. So
Well, so we're gonna do the sauna. Carrie's taking some time off.
Gonna be amazing.
And I like Adam's suggestion of taking a midday off. How do you guys feel about taking a week off of podcasting and actually take a mid-week Wednesday vacation?
Ooh.
I think I could handle that. Like I said, I'm exhausted.
whoa! You mean break the streak for the first time ever?
Yeah.
Episode, something I've been begging for.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever said to you guys like, why haven't you ever taken a break? But it's something I talk to Ashley about all the time. She's like, have they ever taken a break? And I'm like, no, I don't understand it.
It's because, like we've been talking about this whole episode, we want to prove ourselves and be amazing and tough and kick ass. That's why.
And say suck it all the time.
Yeah.
Suck
Yeah.
it. Also, it never occurred to me. Like, if I'm being totally honest, I
Yeah.
just never even thought about taking off.
Same.
Yeah.
We didn't know that was allowed, Adam.
Funny, because I can't relate to that part of it at all. Like one of the joys of podcasting to me has always been I'm the boss. It's my show, and I love my listeners and all that stuff. But if I'm tired, I get to say I'm done for this week, guys. So that's funny.
Well, we're taking a cue from you then.
Yeah.
We're going to actually just take some rest time.
This is your guys' idea. It's a good idea. I should have said something earlier about, hey, take a break. Just
Yeah, you should have, because I'm burned
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And it's all Adam's fault.
Yes.
Okay. So there's a lot going on. We feel overwhelmed. Carrie's face.
So much.
If you're not on Patreon, that is the reason to sign up for Carrie's face expression right now. And so we're going to take a vacation, which I guess we didn't even know we could do until like just now, over a year into podcasting. So we will be back in 2 weeks. But in the meantime, because I know you'll miss us dreadfully next week, you can find us on all of the socials, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, at Women AF Podcast. You can go to our website, womenafpodcast.com, or you can like binge all of the behind the scene content that's on our Patreon, which is patreon.com/Women AF Podcast. And let us know what you're doing to set healthy boundaries, to take a break, to deal with the overwhelm, because like we really need the advice. Please tell us. And we are Women AF, and we know you are too.
Women AF is produced by Mortar Media and engineered by Adam Rostad. Intro and outro music is SQZ by Shane Ivers. Check him out at silvermansound.com. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a review.